So I was going to give the example recently. I went to try out again for another season in the Great Britain martial arts team. I went in, and when I went in the room, all the women were black belts, and I was like, oh, I had that doubt creeping in, that I'm only purple belt, so I'm like halfway through the karate journey to black belt, and I don't belong here. Like, what's going to happen?
Do you want to do that in an exercise now?
Yeah, so I thought what would be quite nice for people who are watching, to do maybe, so visualize.
I want to do it with you.
Yeah, visualization is a really great way to help you step into the new you. Like, seeing you as the new you helps your subconscious get on board with who you're becoming, and gives you belief in yourself. So I was going to give the example recently. I went to try out again for another season in the Great Britain martial arts team.
Yeah, give a quick recap on your journey in the GBT before we get into this reframing, because just for anyone who hasn't heard it before, you literally went from no exercise to
being an athlete.
Yeah, exactly.
In 18 months or something ridiculous. Yeah. So, so when I started because I was scared because I'd had this heart, it wasn't a heart attack, it was an anxiety attack, but I was waiting for it to be checked out. So I was waiting on a list to have my heart checked out, have various tests. So I was sat at home, panicking basically, and hoping that some doctors would do something. And after a couple of months, I'm like, I'm just going to have to do what they say I'm going to have to do. So I was like, I need to stop smoking. I'm going to need to do more exercise. I'm going to have to think about what I'm eating. So I just made the decision I was going to do that. So I joined karate because my children already did karate. And I had done karate before, but I'd only got to like maybe an orange belt when I was about 8 or 10 years old. I wasn't very good at karate when I was a kid. So I joined, and I didn't even think I'd get through the warm-up, but I was like, I'm just going to give it a go. And it was tough at first. I got through the warm-up, but some of the other stuff was hard. And so my sister joined with me for some moral support. And then when I got to a yellow belt, so that's quite early on, you're talking only a few months. I think I started in the July, and then in the December, I was invited onto the squad team because they said, oh, we think you've got potential. So I was like, oh, wow, I've got potential. I was always rubbish at karate. And then we were forced to do a competition, and I had to fight black belts and brown belts. And I just thought I'll just give it a go. In actual fact, after being in an abusive relationship, I'd been punched so many times in the head that I was like, it can't possibly be worse than that situation. Like, there's a judge and they're wearing mitts, so it's never going to hurt that bad. So I went in with that mindset that what's the worst that can happen? Nothing worse than what's already happened to me in the past. And so I went in there fearlessly, and I actually won a medal. So then I got invited to try out for the Great Britain martial arts team, and I wasn't really taking it very seriously because I was like, well, I'm only a yellow belt. And I got through there, and then I trained, which was intense, sometimes to the edge at some of those national trainings. The children were nearly fainting, and I'm at the time 45-year-old woman that hardly done any exercise, so it was tough. But I got through that, and then I went to the Europeans, and I won 2 bronze and a gold medal for fighting in different fighting styles. So if you talk, in fact, there's posts from 2023 on Facebook where I said about my son getting up and fighting before I'd start karate, and I was like, I'm so proud of him because I would never be able to do that. And like within a year, I was at a major competition, So anyway, you only get through for a season. So I've won medals again at a national competition, and so we went to try out. Was invited to try out, and I was a bit more confident when I walked in because I'm a purple belt now. I'm not a yellow belt. So I went in, and when I went in the room, all the women were black belts, and I was like, oh, I had that doubt creeping in, that I'm only purple belt, so I'm like halfway through the karate journey to black belt, and I don't belong here. Like, what's going to happen? And I had that moment, and like I say, wherever you are on your journey, you will still get those moments, and it's about flipping it. And I had to have a strong word with myself and go, I deserve to be here. I've won medals and I deserve to be here. And I'm just going to step on that mat and give it my best shot, And I did. And yes, I did get hit and kicked in the head a few times, but I held my own. I performed well, and I don't know yet. So I'm waiting to find out. Hopefully at the weekend I'll find out if I've got through. But it's that moment where you're at the moment of the transformation, or taking that extra big step. Sometimes the steps feel big and I couldn't break that one down. I couldn't say, actually, could I just do a quick spar for 5 minutes and then get off the mat? I had to do the full thing, I had to do 10 fights, and I fought, there was men I fought, and there was women black belts, and one woman was a giant. She was like, she must have been a good foot taller than me, and I was just like, how am I going to be able to hit this woman? I remember standing on the mat thinking, oh my, like, her arms and legs are so much longer than mine. And I was like, the only way I'm going to get any points is to get really close to her, which I did. And I held my own again, because actually then she couldn't effectively punch me because I was in her space. Yeah. So it worked well. But it's that moment of doubt creeps in, and it does creep in, and you just have to go, I'm going to give it my best shot. I deserve to be here. And it's the same with any transformation that you're going through, any change that you're making. You will have doubt, and you have to accept that you will have doubts, and it's like, just see it as a test to your strength. It's a test of which person you are, because the old person I was believed that, not who I am now, and so I was able to push through those thoughts and perform well. Yeah. So whatever you're trying to achieve, it's not a weakness to have doubts. It's natural to have doubts, but it's what you do when that doubt comes in. Do you give it energy, or do you flip the script? Yeah.
Feel the fear and do it anyway. Yeah. And the other quote is, the only way out of fear is through it. And that's a fact. Push through it, and you will achieve anything that you want. Do you want to do that little exercise now?
Yeah. So I thought what would be quite nice for people who are watching, to do maybe, so visualize.
I'm going to do it with you.
Yeah. Visualization is a really great way to help you step into the new you. Like, seeing you as the new you helps your subconscious get on board with who you're becoming, and gives you belief in yourself. So if you could just close your eyes and relax, and we'll do a little bit of breathing. So we're going to breathe in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, and then out for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, and now we're going to go out for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then in for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold. And now we're going to go out for 8 and hold at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. And then a sharp breath in, fill your lungs, hold. And then as you let the breath just gently release, feel your body start to relax. Shoulders drop. You might want to adjust your hands and your feet to a more comfortable position. Feel the relaxation sweep down your body. And now I want you to imagine yourself in your own black belt moment, where you are a new version of yourself. You're strong, confident, and you're fully owning your transformation. You've done the work and you deserve to be here. Just take a moment to feel how deserving you are. I want you to notice how you feel as this new you. How do you move? How do you speak? What choices do you make that are different? What things will you be doing? Where will you be? Just take a real moment to lock in that feeling of gratitude. You're grateful for your journey and for where you are now. And when you're ready, open your eyes. I'm really interested to know what your transformation was. What things did you see? Did you see anything in your visualization? Where were you?
I was in my house in the house I want to build in the forest with my future husband and future children. And I was mad. In my career, I'm traveling the world, helping people on a wide scale with my coaching, and I have my whole house mapped out and everything. But just I have my family and I have the career that I want, the home that I want, and the surroundings that I want.
Oh, it sounds filled with love. Mm.
Yeah.
I can see you.
I actually, yeah, I could feel it. I could feel it. I love doing, that's one of my go-to visualizations. So I went to that there now because that's my fulfillment. Like I can feel it in my heart. Like it was lovely.
Oh,
it's a really good way to manifest in your future. I feel such a calm energy right now. I feel just so zen. Really do. It's lovely.
Yeah. So highly recommend if you're really trying to make some transformation, to do a little visualization exercise. You can talk yourself through that. Do some nice deep breathing, long out breaths, holding for as long as you can, breathing and then breathing in, holding, and then letting it out gently. Really puts you in a really nice place of almost like a meditative state, isn't it? For relaxed, so that you can really be in your mind. And the more colorful, the more your visualization incorporates the senses. I should have said, what can you hear? I didn't say that, but imagine using all your senses to really be there, really make it come alive. And doing that regularly, maybe once a week, is super powerful, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, I was doing a course there. Not that I did the same course a few times, but he suggested writing out your dream day, and that's exactly what you just did there. Really, was visualize your future self. So writing out how your day goes, and like from the start to finish, waking up with that person beside you, waking up with your family, waking up in that home. What do you hear? What do you smell? All these kind of things. Like it is a really good way to bring it into your reality, is to visualize it as if it's already yours.
Yeah, gratitude for it is a great tool, isn't it? Yeah. So just like I stood on that mat believing I belonged, what's one thing I'm asking out there for you to think about? What's one thing that you can do today to step fully into your new self, or the step that's going to, what's your next step to getting there. Have a think about that. And each day, journaling's a great thing as well, isn't it? Journaling down my next step for today, my next step for today. Always being mindful of pushing yourself forward and being reflective as well, because we are going to come across blocks, aren't we? We are going to come across, you know, it's the path is rarely smooth, is it? You know? So yeah.
That's it. And like, you know, Tony Robbins was saying it in the live there. You know, you see, the change the obstacles and challenges as, and saying thank you for being a good opponent, because your obstacles and challenges are going to make you stronger. They're going to make you push forward. And that's the thing. You know, I see challenges and obstacles as lessons now. And whereas before there were a mountain to climb over or a wall to climb over that we were trying to pull through, now they can be just stepping stones to get us to the next level. And we use them to make us that much stronger. So don't be, you know, the obstacles get lesser, or they seem lesser, because we become stronger. So, you know,
and it's about how you view it, like you were saying. Like, if you see it as an obstacle, then it's like a bad thing. Whereas if you acknowledge that you know, this has made it, I wasn't expecting this. I wonder what I can learn from this. I wonder how this is going to make me better. And that reframe, is really powerful to keep you motivated. Because sometimes when people, you know, it's like people starting businesses and things, that there is often, or nearly always, a period where it's going to be challenging. It's going to feel like you're doing all the legwork and not getting anywhere. But it's the people who are successful are the ones that push through that. And the way to push through that is to view it as a lesson. You're learning how to do it better. Yeah. We're gonna finish with Tony Robbins. The great Tony Robbins said, by changing nothing, nothing changes. And that's why we must embrace the change and our transformation. Yeah.
That's it. It's just a little bit of change every day. And like, you know, we might think we're afraid of change, but the minute you start changing things, you get excited for more, and then you realize you actually want change, and that you are sick of not changing. It really is.
You get comfortable with the discomfort, and it doesn't feel, it's like a muscle, isn't it? You know, you get stronger, you get better at dealing with it, and then it doesn't really even feel that bad. You know, it doesn't really feel.
That was the thing. I actually read a quote there lately. You know, when you're pulling weights, the weights don't get lighter. You get stronger. The same with obstacles and challenges. You just get stronger, and you're able to deal with them better. Yeah. And that's really it. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, that was an hour and 2 minutes. Well, it wasn't actually, because we started late because of all the technology problems. So it's about an hour. Right? So we need to make an announcement that we are. Go on. You can say.
Yeah, so from next Wednesday, I'm starting a course for the next 15 weeks. So we're going to have to change our midweek mindset to a little bit later mindset. So Fridays at 6 o'clock going forward for the next few weeks. And but we're still going to be here. We're still going to be, you know, coming to speak to you every week, but it'll be just Fridays instead of Wednesdays.
Yeah. So not this Friday.
Not this Friday, from next week.
Yeah.
So do you want to speak just a little bit about Teacher Mindset Matters?
Oh, yes. Teacher Mindset Matters. That's our free Facebook group for offering support from coaches and each other, building a community where we are supporting each other in our transformations or in our mindset, or to change any aspect of your life that you want to work on. So we're targeting teachers and school support staff because we think you do an amazing job, and it's not an easy one. And because the profession requires you to give so much of yourself, we want to help you make sure you're giving to yourself, you know, and we are far better when our cup is full. We can't just keep emptying it. So there's discussions, there's polls, there's inspirational quotes, there's recently I put the some news from what Ofsted has said.
Yeah, I watched that. That was
Wage,
interesting.
which is really not very good. I mean, I'm not going to go into it because Mr. P just, yeah, so Mr. P says it perfectly. So, but basically the new gradings for schools is absolutely not any better than the old ones. So it's just more of the same, which is stressful for schools and disappointing for schools. I think we were hopeful of something better. And that's why the other reason why we want to do Teacher Mindset Matters is because there are some things that we aren't able to control. But one thing that we are able to control is our own mindset. And so we're not saying that if you have a brilliant mindset that all these things, all the challenges for the job is going to, disappear, but they won't feel quite so heavy on
Exactly.
you.
Like we just spoke about, like the weights, you get stronger, the weights don't get lighter.
Yeah.
Same as if we change our mindset, become self-aware and heal ourselves, the challenges become easier. They're like stepping stones rather than brick walls.
Yeah.